All right, y'all. Welcome back to Dev Spot Podcast. Man, it's been a minute. I missed y'all, so we back getting ready for these NBA playoffs, getting ready for all of that good stuff. But before that, I wanted to take this first episode back to talk about college sports, right? College basketball and the evolution of what we got going on right now as far as the women's game and just stuff like that. Like, I feel like it's a great thing we got going right now as far as people tuning into the game and people really showing excitement. The numbers that they've been doing and the Elite Eight and stuff like that was amazing. The back-to-back games that we just had the other day with Iowa versus LSU and then UConn versus USC. I was locked in, tuned in. I just love the way we finally starting to like give the respect to the women that they deserve. Because these women, first off, let me say, women hoops been nice. Like, they've been doing their thing, but I feel like right now everybody's just a little bit more inclined to take it, and we got the stars to back it up. Like, when you look at Caitlin Clark, Paige Becker, Juju Watkins, Angel Reese, Fly J Johnson, like, it's real stars right now. So it's like, Malaysia, you look at her at South Carolina, it's just so much going on. So I think they got to just keep building on that. Like, now we got Paige versus Caitlin Clark, which is like, when you look at it, this is the matchup that, like, I wanted Juju Watkins to win the whole thing. I was disappointed she wasn't able to pull it through. I talk about what they got going on at USC in a minute, but when you think about the rivalry that we missed out on because Paige has been hurt the last 2 years, for us to get this before Caitlin Clark go to the WNBA, I think is going to be special. I still believe that as an overall basketball player, Paige Beckers is a little bit better than Caitlin Clark, just because, like, her, if you watched her against USC, when I'm talking about not just scoring and shooting, but passing the ball, the defense she was playing, she decided to take on Juju Watkins. She was blocking shots. She was in the passing lanes. She's super, she just got this intuition. She know where to be. She know how to get the ball. She was disruptive all night on both ends of the court. So I just feel like when you look at the overall impact, that's why in this class that was so stacked with Cameron Brinks and all of these people and Caitlin Clark and all of them, when they first came in 4 years ago, Paige Beckers was the top dog. Angel Reese and them, I think Angel Reese was second. Caitlin Clark, I think Cameron Brink was 3, Clark was 4, and then the big girl from South Carolina was number 5 or something. But out of that loaded class, Paige Beckers is the one that was the top dog. But when we talk about that class, as far as, like, I just named the 5 girls, that's the top 5 players in that class. I think that it might not go down, the 2020 class featuring Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink, they might not go down as the most, they gonna go down as one of the most talented classes ever. But if they're not the most talented, they're definitely the most impactful class in college women's basketball, if you ask me. When you look at what they've done for the game, as far as Caitlin Clark breaking records, Angel Reese dominating, winning a championship, bringing the attention, making it a feel like the men's game where it's like talking trash, her and Caitlin Clark going back at it. Me, I love that type of stuff. Like, I'm not one of them people that's like, oh, she shouldn't be talking trash. And we'll talk, and I'm definitely gonna touch on that in a minute. But when you look at it, it's like, yeah, I'm getting buckets. I'm gonna talk my trash. Caitlin Clark get her buckets, talking back. Fly J talking her trash. Cameron Brink and Stanford, she talk her trash. Like, Paige, even, she don't say as much, but she kind of get into it when she really get cooking. So you look at the overall excitement around that class. That class changed the landscape of college women's basketball moving forward. So when we look at it in history down the line, I feel like when the WNBA and the college women's basketball is doing much better than it is now, I feel like this 2020 class, we gonna owe them a lot to that. I feel like they carried the torch great. They all won at a high level. None of them disappointed. If you look at all 5 of their college careers, I can't remember the girl from South Carolina name. I wish I could. The 5 of them, all of them didn't won. All of them didn't got their awards. All of them didn't been All-Americans. They came in and did what they were supposed to do, and they took the level game where they were supposed to take it with their talent level. So salute to those 5 women. I know it's a few more in that class, but those are the top 5, and they have really carried the torch in a way that you would want to leave it open for Juju Watkins to come and now bust the doors open for her the next 3 years as one of the best women players I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? They made it possible for her now to be the superstar that she deserves to be because they took the game to the next level. You know, Fly J, she is a star, and she's gonna be able to really be shown because of them. You know what I'm saying? Michaela, that also played at LSU, the second best player to Juju Watkins in their class that they just came out. Stud, you know what I'm saying? Anissa in LSU. They got its players all around down that we're gonna be able to see. Malaysia for South Carolina, also a freshman. They all over the place. It's just as far as stacked players, and we're gonna finally get to see that. But before we get to talking about Angel Reese and all of that, I want to say I definitely think the WNBA needs to start taking a page out of the college women's book, because they don't do a good enough job, I feel, in WNBA of pushing rivalries and making us want to watch. Like, you know, it's like if Asia Wilson playing Breanna Stewart, then okay, they'll be like, hey, yeah, the best two players. Cool. That's the rivalry right now. But when you look at some of these guards that we got in the WNBA, some of these wing matchups, like you have to find ways to kind of sell these players. And it's like, you know, like in the NBA, you got so many players. It's like Luka versus Tatum, Bron versus KD, or Bron versus Curry, Curry versus KD, Curry versus Dame. Like, even you look back to Chris Paul versus Darian Williams, like it's always been this player versus this player. And I know sometimes it can get old, but that's what we want to see. Like, that's what we into. It's like, we got these matchups, who gonna dominate who. The young guy come in, like when Zion came in, Zion trying to take on Bron, or just all of these type of different things. You know what I'm saying? Embiid, Jokic, like they're all over. Dame, Kyrie was a big the second best point guard for a while. Russ versus Curry back before Curry took off. Like that's what brings the excitement around. So I think like when Sabrina Ionescu playing another really good guard, let's pump that. Like, you know, when Bonner is playing another good wing, let's pump that up as far as just being like, oh, this team playing this team. Like, no, the last 3 times these teams played, she scored 24, she scored 22. Now they going at it again. Like, we have to find a different way to market these women and the excitement around their game, and try to find that. If I think rivalries would help. I think us finding more than just, obviously, like I said, Breanna Stewart versus Asia Wilson. That's the number one rivalry, because that's the number 1 and 2 player in the world right now. But we got to start marketing it more like that. Like these two going head to head, or these two teams, they don't really like each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? People like that. Like, play on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, market, like the NBA do a good job of any chance they get, they putting Curry and LeBron on TV. They putting KD versus Jason Tatum on TV. Like, they getting they star matchups out there, and they hyping it, and they making it about the stars. The WNBA, I don't think, is doing a big enough job of bringing more of their stars that don't have like the national attention to the spotlight. They only kind of like hype up the few people. Now Sabrina Ionescu, now that she's been shooting with Steph Curry, like she been a baller, but now she on that kind of level of stardom, so they kind of pushing her a little bit. But it's a lot of stars in the WNBA like that are really, really good, that you just look at and be like, dang, why they not talking about her more? Why they not touching on her game? Or them two just had a really good matchup. They don't do enough of, look at this one-on-one, look at what they was doing, or look at these two people versus these two. Like, I just think you got to just not just keep making it about the team and the top players, but start elevating the middle level star up, so that now we could kind of get more excited. Because if we only know 2 or 3 players off the top of your head, it's kind of hard to get into the game. You kind of got to make it to where now you're elevating your stars. I know I know WNBA players, but I got to sit down and think about it. But when it comes to college players, I know a good amount of them, because they are pumping them up. They showing their highlights. They got them all over. When the girl Malaysia from South Carolina came out the first week balling and was going behind the back and was doing all this, that was all over the place. And they was like, well, what can she do compared to that? And they was pumping it from the beginning. So it's like, it was easy to remember she's a baller. They got to start doing that with the WNBA, because the talent that we got at the college level, I just don't see it not continuing to get better. And as these women take off into the WNBA, how are we going to continue to grow their brand? How are we going to incentivize these women to want to leave college to go to the WNBA? If Angel Reese was making almost $1 million, $2 million in college, and she was a superstar. So if she's not going to be a superstar in the WNBA, if y'all not going to push her like that, if y'all not going to work with her to get these brand deals, and y'all not going to work with her to get her name to that next level, what was the incentive for her to leave college to come to the WNBA? She's a superstar over here. They paying her good. She's one of the top paid players in the game. Fly J. Johnson is only a sophomore getting over $1 million. Why would she want to leave college? They letting her pump her music. I was watching during the SEC tournament, in the little SEC preview, they got her rap song playing as the background music while they showing the highlights to get ready for the tournament to start. So they pumping her music up. They paying her well. She enjoying what she got going on. What's the incentive to go to the WNBA if you're gonna be making less money? You probably not gonna get as much publicity. Like if you look at some of these players, they were way bigger stars when they was in college than they are now because they aren't getting the same attention. You know what I mean? So that's something that the marketing team got to sit down and get to, because I feel like once that happens, the WNBA game could take off, because now people are starting to realize, oh, wait, these women can ball. Like, people have been saying it for years, like, but now you start to look on social media and stuff, and the reaction to it is a lot more like, oh, okay, they really can hoop. Like, and it's almost like kind of disappointing because, like I said, the women been balling. Like Maya Moore, Candace Parker, all the way back. Like it's been going on, but now they catching on. Breanna Stewart, to this day, I still think she's the greatest college player ever. 4 years, 4 championships. You can't really beat it. Maya Moore, the best player. Well, Maya Moore, Candace Parker, the 2 best players I've ever seen. But when you just talk about pure dominance, Breanna Stewart at the college level was something different. Obviously, Asia Wilson dominated as well, but you can't be 4 in 4 years. Like, it's just ridiculous. But when you look at that, you have to just be able to keep pushing these stars. It should be, there's no way with the talent level in the WNBA, it shouldn't be, you should know at least 15, 20 players, at least, but they have to do a better job of getting it out to the casual fan so we could all kind of enjoy the game together, you know? And now let's talk about Angel Reese and the criticism she's been getting. And listen, let me tell y'all got to get off Angel Reese as far as just the blatant disrespect. It just don't make no sense. She's a trash talker between the lines as a basketball player. So as far as, yeah, Caitlin Clark beat your ass. Yeah, she bust your ass. Yeah, she came and got her get back. Woo, woo, woo. Now that's what the fuck you get. All la. Like y'all could, that's fine. It's good to talk. It's okay to talk basketball trash talk there because that's what she talks. But as far as, I done seen people, you got owned by your slave master, you slut, you's a hoe. Like, this why you sitting there, like, it's too much. Nowhere in her dialogue, you can't find me nowhere in no trash talk she's ever done where it's like, oh, this bitch is a dirty bitch. Like, she don't take it past, I'm busting your ass, or look at this scoreboard, you can't fuck with me, you can't see me, or whatever the case may be. It's all about basketball. If you can find me some clips where she out there talking about, that's why you fat and you ugly and that's why your feet like, she not be talking about all of that. So for them to come back at her with that, and I done seen memes of her on dog walk, like, it's just too much. And just because she does Sports Illustrated swimsuit models take pictures in bathing suits, does that mean she deserves to be, oh yeah, that's why you a slut and I hit fuck this. Like, this is still a young lady, and it's like, I don't see how men just be so quick to want to be like so degrading to a woman. It's like it's unnecessary. Like I said, talk your trash to her. If you was a Caitlin Clark fan, or if you was wishing that Caitlin Clark got her get back, that's cool. Sports is sports. Trash talk is trash talk. If you give it out, you should be able to take it, but let's keep it on the same level. That's all I'm asking. Let's keep the talk basketball. She ain't never said anything about Caitlin Clark as far as, oh, that little white girl ugly. She ain't never said anything about her looks. She ain't never said nothing about her body. She ain't never said nothing about other than, you can't see me, because she did the same thing in because Caitlin Clark did the same thing in South Carolina the game before. But nobody talks about Caitlin Clark doing it first. And Angel Reese's was a retaliation. It wasn't like she just did it out of nowhere. But either way, neither girl should be getting talked about for what they was doing, but it's just strictly trash talk. If you look at NC State in the men's tournament, the NC State versus Duke, when NC State was eliminating Duke, DJ Burns on the free throw line, y'all, it's over. It's over. We going home. He was dancing and talking shit. Nobody said nothing. He was all over ESPN. Look at him. He just talking. But when Angel Reese do it is, oh, she's not a young lady. Da, da, da. Like, why can men talk trash, but women can't talk trash? I grew up around men hoopers and women hoopers, and the women hoopers I grew up with talk shit just like the men. I'm not sitting in there like, that's not lady. Like, what do you? We playing basketball. A hooper is a hooper, whether it's a man or a woman. So if you getting buckets, or if you locking somebody up, or if you just doing like whatever your role is, if you diming people up today, if you a passer, if you rebounding, you dominating the boards, you got the right to talk your shit. The only thing about it is, if you getting your ass bust, you got to take the shit. But we got to keep it hoop. Like, I don't appreciate this young sister, and it's like people like, oh, you shouldn't bring in the race car. Race is always prevalent with these type of conversations, because you have this black woman who's a superstar who's getting treated a different way than this white woman that's a superstar that talks just as much shit. She talks just as much trash, and she's not getting any of the insults that Angel Reese is getting, but she's getting all of the praise. Like, praise them when they're doing good, talk trash about them when they're doing bad, but keep the body shaming, the racial slurs, keep all of that out of there, because that's not helping nobody. That's not nobody wants to hear that. Like, she's still, like she said, she's a human. And they're like, oh, she talk trash, now she talking about she a human. Yes. Just because she talk trash don't mean that gives people the right to just say whatever. That's still somebody's child. That's still somebody's sibling, somebody's friend. Like, she still is a person who has to live with this past basketball. And she's not the first person, man or woman, that you've seen talking trash on a basketball court. And she will not be the last. So she took a lot of unnecessary blows to move the women's college game forward. And I appreciate that. And we have to show her respect. LSU owes her everything. I feel like college basketball owes her so much, because of she was one of the ones that's, with her trash talk and her style and the way she played and the way she carried herself, really brought the attention to the college game. She's one of the pioneers of what we finna see moving forward. I know I mentioned all five, but when you really look at Angel Reese and the blows she took, none of those other four women in the 2020 class that I said have taken the negative criticism that Angel Reese has taken. She put it on her back. She carried it with class. She, to me, has done an exemplary job. Like, I feel like she's done a great job of staying the course, doing what she got to do, not letting it get to her too bad. And I truly respect what she is, and I hope she does good at the next level. And they market her the way that they should, to keep her brand growing and growing and growing. That's my spiel on the women's game. I got one more topic before I cut off. I want to start making these pods a little shorter. We got to talk about Bronny James. Look, Bronny James is transferring from USC. I said before he went there, it was too many guards already there for him to really shine the way he needed to. But him transferring, I think it'd be a good thing. I know they said, oh, the transfer portal, you got to stay in. But sometimes it's just not a good situation. Now they've been talking about where should Bronny go. I'm not really sure of a specific school, but I've been seeing people say, like, he should go to Duke, or he should go to UNC, or he should go some of these big Kentucky. Me personally, I do not think that's the case. I feel like Bronny needs to go somewhere to where he could kind of figure out what his role gonna be in the NBA, because he's LeBron James' son. He's gonna get a shot at the NBA. That's I don't care what school he transfers to. At some point, somebody gonna give him a shot on the NBA court, just based off the fact of it's LeBron's son. What if he got some of that? Somebody gonna see whether he's drafted, whether he go undrafted. He's getting on a summer league team and getting a chance to play in the NBA. So with that, with you already knowing that in your back pocket, you need to go somewhere that maybe be a little smaller school that can really let you grow into the player that you're gonna be. Figure out, is you an off guard? Do you want to learn how to be more of a point guard? If you want to learn to be more point, it's probably gonna take him 2 more years in college. But if you want to be an off guard and more of like a Drew Holiday, my comp for him has been Drew Holiday for the since he's been in high school. I think that if he could become Drew Holiday with a better jumper, because he shoots better than Drew right now today. That would be perfect for him. He'll make hundreds of millions of dollars in NBA, and he'll have a long 10, 15-year career. But he has to figure out if that's the role he want to be. And I just don't see at a top school where they constantly bringing in top guards. They constantly, some of the top guards is coming back, and you getting 10 minutes here. Now you coming out, you getting 4 minutes here, and you kind of, your minutes are spread. When you could go somewhere that's a little smaller, you might not be as successful as far as winning games, but you'll be able to hone in on your craft and get to the level where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go to the league. I know what I could do. This is my strongest suit. This is what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to just take time to figure yourself out. Him getting sick, obviously at the beginning of the last season, kind of slowed his pace down a little bit as far as his growth in his first year. Just lucky that he even was able to play and that he was okay. That was a blessing within itself. So now year 2, it's more about like, let's really figure out who you are as a player, what that look like, what role do you fit moving forward. And because I feel like in high school, he was just such a good athlete. Like, it's kind of hard to really, when you're that good of an athlete in high school, it's hard to really tell what type of player you're going to be, because you could just jump over people and you're going to fly by, you're going to be able to get in the passing lanes, and you're going to be able to block shots, so it's going to look good, and you can shoot. But in college, we're going to see, like, can he even really be Drew Holiday? Can he guard bigger guards at that level? Is he strong enough? Do we need to put on some weight? Like, he got to figure all that out in this next year, possibly 2, where he transferred. But I do not think it would be smart to just, because of your name, transfer to a big school. If he transferred to one of these big blue bloods or one of these big schools that's constantly competing for championships, that already got their guards and stuff, he's going to get lost in the sauce. And I feel like his development, he's, like I said, he's still going to get his NBA shot, but he's not going to be as ready. Go somewhere where you can hone in on your craft. Your only mission is not to win a national championship. It's to figure out your role for when your NBA shot comes, because you know you getting an NBA shot. So that would be my advice to them. Find even like a mid-major, like, you know what I'm saying, somewhere where it's like, okay, they're gonna be super excited to get you because of the name, the publicity that's gonna come with it, and they gonna rock with you. That's what you need. And that's what's going to make him thrive, in my opinion. These top schools, they got too much going on. These other kids coming in, they have just as much. Now, you being LeBron James' son is still a big deal, but these other kids coming in with 500,000 followers, they're already stars too, so it's not as big of a deal. Go to one of these smaller schools to where you can be a big deal and figure out your role. That's my spiel. Peace.